This recent CNN headline read, "Community college grads out-earn bachelor's degree holders." Now, what are the facts, and where does Montgomery College fit into that equation? Up next on Campus Conversations, we'll spend time and energy talking about how Montgomery College is preparing students to earn sooner rather than later.
Hi, I'm Jason Rivera, and this is Campus Conversations. Every year, hundreds of thousands of students graduate from community colleges. And according to Georgetown University's Center on Education and the Workforce, some are out earning recent bachelor's degree grads. In fact, data from the U.S. and Maryland Departments of Labor reveal that a quarter of Montgomery County's associate's degree graduates make more right out of school than bachelor's degree grads. Look at this. In our county's allied health occupations, two-year graduates earn nearly 40% more than a four-year graduate. You may only need a two-year degree to get the job. But how do you decide what field is right for you? Montgomery College now has a tool to help. Take a look.
Juan Serrano is an MEC student who works full-time as a customer service representative for MEC's Workforce Development and Continuing Education Program, or WDCE. His major at MEC is business, but he'll be transferring to UMUC to earn a bachelor's degree in accounting. Not so long ago, he found out about the Career Coach online search tool.
And to me, it's an excellent tool. I went straight ahead and looked for information about my career.
The Career Coach is an online search tool that can help anyone to explore over 800 different careers, all within a 100-mile radius from the college.
It's a valuable tool because you can immediately see, are there jobs in the area related to the area of study I'm considering going into at Montgomery College. You can see projected growth in those areas, wages, and you can see real jobs located throughout the area.
Kenneth Nelson is the Director of Business and Community for WDC. He says that the Career Coach can help students remove any doubts about what their goals are and how they can achieve them.
Some students will be able to look at that particular tool, find out not only that they have the job that they're seeking is one job, but they're also going to see other job opportunities. And when they look at those other job opportunities, it really gives them a lot of hope and energy to continue with their studies and to do well on the jobs that they will get.
Career Coach gives you information about jobs in our area.
Emily Ludke is a transition support teacher for Montgomery County Public Schools, which has a partnership with Montgomery College. She has used the Career Coach search tool with her class and feels that the best thing about the Career Coach is accessing information about a variety of careers which are not always related to a four-year degree.
But also programs that require only a little bit of vocational training, and they directly link it to what's available here at Montgomery College.
To use the Career Coach online search tool, go to the Montgomery College webpage. Click on Counseling and Advising. Under Counseling, choose Career Counseling, and then under Career Exploration, choose Career Coach. Then click on Go to Career Coach. For Campus Conversations, I'm Danielle Stesky.
What a great resource. It's one-stop shopping for everything you want to know about the job market, earning potential, and course requirements. Montgomery College has always prided itself on keeping a finger on the pulse of local industry. We train the students of today to have the new skills that meet the business and economic needs of tomorrow. And when our industry partners see a need for skills-based training, they come first to our Workforce Development and Continuing Education Unit. With me now is George Payne, the college's Vice President for Workforce Development and Continuing Education. I guess the question here, George, is about employability. So how is it that Montgomery College is working to turn out employable grads?
Well, it's a great question. Probably the heart of the program design is working good, close relationships with our employer base. So we have advisory committees that give us input to the skills and the technical training requirements of the job and help us then formulate a curriculum. We have collaborations for internships, apprenticeship programs, job placement, career resources. Many times these same employers provide practitioner faculty that actually populate the programs. So by this ongoing relationship with the employer community, we have sort of a direct connection to the occupations that are in high demand, and then making sure that the programming is relevant and it's going to be valuable for the students who complete it.
Absolutely. So what kinds of programs do we offer?
Well, there's more than 100, career building, salary building, and educational opportunity connection building programs. Just a few come to mind. A popular one that's been most recently developed is what we call the Certified Apartment Maintenance Technician Program. It's a collaboration with the National Apartment Owners Association, and it's less than 100 hours. The student learns how to maintain the rental properties, and since Montgomery County has such a high rental population, the job opportunities are very significant. Mm-hmm. So the student gets certified in a national curriculum, and then we also add a EPA certified refrigerant handling certification. So they leave with 2 certification programs. They're in high demand. They pay very well. We have end of course job recruitment, job fairs, mm-hmm. and the employers actually come, and many of the students are hired like right on the spot. So that's been very popular. At the other end of the spectrum, for people with bachelor's degrees, we have a new program called Clinical Trials Project Management. And this is just be an example how a program can evolve to meet a local need. So there's the whole process of getting pharmaceuticals approved through the mm-hmm. FDA requires a lot of project management. So you have your researchers, but you need project managers who can shepherd the program through a very time-sensitive and highly demanding regiment to get the products approved. So we've partnered with Amarex, a local clinical trials firm, to design a program that actually produces students who can enter this high-paid occupational area. And maybe the third one I would just mention, it sounds like it's been around for a long time, but the opportunities are really very cross-cutting, and it would be like an apprenticeship program okay. that we have in our Godelski Institute that allows students to get a U.S. Department of Labor certification and take that later through an articulation agreement, get transfer credit towards an associate's degree, and ultimately they could go to a bachelor's in construction management if they wished. So the idea is that these things are connected to in-demand occupations, and the other theme is that you can just start here with a short-term program curriculum and get that immediate certification, and then later on, when the time and money and resources allow, you can continue your studies. Mm. So those are there are 3 examples of programs of this nature.
So those are programs. Do we also offer courses?
Sure.
For
yes.
retooling, reskilling?
Absolutely. So people, of course, students are in a hurry, resources are tight, family obligations, community requirements, all the things that keep us busy working adults. So students are interested in things that can be chunked into manageable pieces. By having a shorter course, it makes the tuition more manageable.
Right.
And also it's easier for the student to block out a period of time that they can commit. So it's very important that you have the resources, but you also make the commitment of time to study it. So these work well. So in as few as 10 weeks, some of the health career programs are that concise and compact. You can actually exit with a new certification in a job-ready occupational area and enter the workforce with that new credential. So short courses connected to full programs is really a unique aspect here of the college. So you can, again, start with a small piece, and we would call it career pathways or mm-hmm. stepping stones, essentially move from a small piece to a larger piece to a larger piece, and then just continue that educational period mm-hmm. through your working career.
That sounds terrific. So this apprenticeship, I just want to mm-hmm. go back to that really quickly, and we're a little short on time, so I'll ask the question quickly. Are they able to get a full salary while they're in that type of apprenticeship?
It's it's an agreed upon progress rate of the hourly pay. So it's incrementally each year they get more, but they also have the full benefits. They have transportation, they have an educational resource, and most importantly, the employer is footing the bill. So it's hard to beat that.
Yeah, I would say. Well, we're just about out of time. I do want to thank you for taking the time to join us today. I think that the programs that we're offering are really of value to our community, and we'll continue to do the wonderful work that Montgomery College does with our Workforce Development Continuing Education Unit.
Good, thank you.
Thank you. Montgomery College's workforce development and continuing education has a wide array of programs and classes that arm students with the skills for today's supercharged industries. Our producer, Marcus Rosano, went on location to learn more about how one of those programs is training students to work on hybrid cars.
I'm with Mike Coretta, Associate Professor of Automotive Technology, and as you can see, we are not behind a desk today. That is a good thing. I like to get out of the office once in a while. We are in the Godelski Center's Automotive Lab, and in a couple of minutes, Mike will be teaching on a hybrid electric vehicle course. And I guess to start off, for us mechanical novices, tell me a little bit about what a hybrid actually is.
A hybrid electric vehicle is a vehicle that has two means of propelling the car down the road. It has an internal combustion engine, whether it be a diesel or gasoline engine, and then it has an electric motor powered by a battery that can also propel it down the road.
So the students that come here to take the HEV, hybrid electric vehicle course, what type of folks are you seeing here? You're not talking about just the person like me that doesn't know much about cars that's going to come in here and take the course. Who's in your class tonight?
We're getting people that are out in the industry working on the vehicles currently. We're getting a lot of people from that work on fleet vehicles that have these in their fleet. County, we got some DC Public Work students coming in today and from some other county organizations that have them in their fleet, and these technicians need to learn how to work on them because even though they do have an internal combustion engine, they are still quite different than just a typical car, and they need to know the differences between those.
Okay, so they are, in a sense, mechanics.
Correct.
Talk a little bit about, we were discussing earlier off camera about the progression. You said you were working in high school in '87, you were working on cars.
Right.
Talk a little bit about the progression and actually where the vehicle world stands today.
Well, when I started working on cars in 1987, fuel injection was still kind of in its infancy, and we were just getting into the electronics, moving away from carburetors into fuel injection. So it was kind of a little bit easier back then. Maybe you had 1 or 2 computers that had to manage all the electronics on the car, where nowadays you can have 5 to 25 computers on a car managing all the systems on the car nowadays. Trans controllers, body controllers, engine controllers, memory seat heater controllers that control the seats, the power seats, and the mirrors and the windows that tie all that stuff together. So they're very complicated nowadays.
And there is, you were telling me again a little bit off camera, there's difference between the hybrid electric vehicle and then there's another car behind me. Tell us a little bit about the intricate differences between these vehicles that you guys are going to be working on in a little while.
Right, well the hybrid electric vehicle, like I said, has the two means of propelling it, either battery operated or by the internal combustion engine, and a pure electric vehicle like the Nissan Leaf that we have right here behind you is strictly electric, so you'd have to plug it in.
Literally plug it in.
Literally plug it in. Usually when you get home, if they have a plug-in station maybe somewhere where you work, maybe they have something like that. So that's the main difference, is a pure electric vehicle just has one means of propelling the car down the road, where the hybrids have two. So when the battery gets low in your Prius, then the internal combustion engine will kick on and can drive the car down the road and recharge the battery while it's driving or while it's braking.
Okay, and the course itself, this is a short course, and just tell us about how long the course is and what you're going to kind of receive when you finish the course.
Right, we do it over the course of 3 consecutive evenings, 3 weeks. We do it on Mondays, so we do 1 Monday and then 2 after that, and it's 4 hours each, so it's 12 hours total. And this is just a very basic class. I mean, we kind of just scratched the surface onto what these vehicles are about. And it's just, like I said, just kind of pointing out the difference between a hybrid and a regular car. I mean, like for example, on this hybrid here, if you're sitting in a traffic light, the engine will cut off. Well, if it's the summertime and it's 100 degrees outside, where am I going to get my air conditioning from, right?
Right.
So the AC compressor also has to be driven electrically, and other things, electric power steering and just electric water pumps. So there are some differences between the two, and that's kind of what we go over in the class. And then we have a hybrid transmission we take apart so the students can take a look at the electric motors that are inside of it. And then on our final day, we go over battery safety and just working on these things, because it's high voltage here, 300 volts. If it hits you right, it can kill you.
Okay.
So we need to go over safety with them, and then we have them take them out in the parking lot, and we hook scan tools up to them and let them drive them around so we can see what the motor gear 1 is doing, motor gear 2 is doing, and things like that, so they kind of have an understanding of, you know, where the power flow is coming from. Is it coming from the engine? Is it coming from one of the motors? Is it recharging? You know, what's taking place inside of there? And we can look at that with our scan tools that we have here at the school.
And then when you're done with the 12 hours, you get a workforce development and continuing education certificate.
Correct.
And a lot of folks are actually doing that from the public sector and doing it for their jobs to get that certificate. So I think that's about all the time we have today, Mike. I want to thank you for letting us come in here into this garage and getting me away from my desk. So I appreciate that. For Campus Conversations, I'm Marcus Rosano.
Check out more Montgomery College programming at youtube.com/Montgomery College. Like us on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/Montgomery College TV.
Montgomery College has been offering its apartment maintenance technician program for the past several years through its workforce development and continuing education unit.
The industry generators say, look, we need technicians. We can't get enough people to fill this job. They took the initiative to develop a curriculum and a certification process. They sold us on this because they said, look, our industry is hurting for employees. We have a good working relationship with the National Apartment Association in this project, and they've been supportive of us, and they've gone the extra mile to make sure that everything is working smoothly.
And what's unique about this course is that teachers are using the MyBest, or Maryland Integrated Basic Education Skills Training Model, which was developed to serve students who lack basic English and math skills.
Is that closed? What's nice about this is it integrates the basic skills into the technical training program. We have 2 instructors in the classroom. One deals with basic skills, one deals with the technical content. And they team teach.
15 minutes teach and stop, another 15 minutes. The English teacher check everybody, every student, how much they understand, how can they explore. If it is okay, we forward the lesson. Very good technique.
So it really is a way to get the students the technical training they want, keep their interest level high, and at the same time give them the basic skills that they really need to succeed.
This is very important for us. That means we have a good opportunity to get the proper job.
MyBest is one of the many programs at Montgomery College that is designed to get grads into the workforce with the skills they need to succeed. And getting there with less debt is one of the greatest benefits of starting a career with an associate's degree. With me now is Melissa Gregory, Montgomery College's Chief Enrollment Services and Financial Aid Officer. Melissa, I'm sure you've read the CNN article. Tell me, how are we as a college helping our students graduate with less debt?
Well, priority number 1 for Montgomery College is to keep our tuition as low as possible. I know that's a priority for community colleges around the country. At MC, we're very fortunate that next year, academic year 2013-14, tuition will not increase.
That's good
so
news.
That's really good news, especially for many, many of our students. So that's the first priority.
Okay.
But the second priority is to make sure that all of our students who would still have a difficult time paying that low tuition know how to apply for financial aid, how to get the resources, particularly in grants and scholarships, to pay those direct costs, and then we can keep them away from loans as long as possible or as much as possible.
Okay, so how would our students go about learning the different types of financial aid or resources that are available to them?
We have a lot of different outreach activities that we do. We start as early as middle school. I think it's probably going to start in elementary school eventually. But outreach to parents, outreach to students, this is how you apply. Here are the basics, things about deadlines, applications, the different programs. So going out into the community, into high schools, into middle schools, not just financial aid staff, but our recruiters also doing all of the basics. Sitting down and helping students complete the free application for federal student aid, the FAFSA, that's the basic form that every school in the country will use, and walking folks through the intricacies of those forms. Big events that we have like College Goal Sunday to bring families in, sit down with experts that can give them advice on completing the form. So all of those things are very important. And then when you get here, many, many reminders about applying for financial aid, apply for scholarships, meet your deadlines, always incredibly important with most of our programs.
Tell me more about those deadlines, because I know that there's something like a priority deadline. Why do we have those types of deadlines for our students?
Well, every school has deadlines, and priority deadlines can vary from school to school and what they mean, but you really need to think about it as first come, first serve. So the first applications are going to get processed. Sometimes for the best financial aid. So if I have a limited pot of grant money that I'm going to help students with, and at Montgomery College we're very fortunate, we have a lot of grant money, our own institutional money to supplement Pell Grants, that's the major grant program, federal grant program in the country, and scholarships through our Montgomery College Foundation. But there's only so much money to go around. So if you're applying early and applying about what we say is our priority deadline, you've got a shot at some of that money. If you apply after the priority deadline, I may have already spent it on everybody else, and you might get some money, but only if it's turned down by the people in the first group. So you want to be in the first group, and that's whether you're coming to MC or transferring to another school.
So how do you learn about these deadlines? How do you find out when, let's say, MC's deadline is, or when the federal government's deadlines are for financial aid?
We'll post things all over campus. Our website, of course, we're always rolling things on MyMC and on the college's just general website. Also, Montgomery College uses a service called Financial Aid TV, and it's a series of very short videos, no longer than 2 minutes, that go through everything you can think about with financial aid. How to complete the FAFSA, what is a Pell Grant. There are specific videos just for Montgomery College. What are Montgomery College's deadlines? What forms do you require? There's a great video on how to complete a good scholarship application, how to get good essays, how to get good references for a scholarship application that will attract the attention of a scholarship committee. So a lot of things that are out there on the web and also in print, things that we mail to students, postcards reminding you, hey, it's time to apply for financial aid again. Yes, you have to do it every single year, but you practically could trip over all of the information that's out there that we're providing to students to make sure they make those important deadlines.
Well, that's actually very good. So tell me, on our website, how would students know where to go on our website to find this information?
Well, our website address for financial aid is very simple. If it's montgomerycollege.edu//finaid. And when you go to the financial aid site, you'll see a big box for financial aid TV. Click here for financial aid TV. There's other sections about specifically grants and scholarships, information about loans. We're fortunate that most of our financial aid, for example, last year we did about $62 million in financial aid, but over 70% of that was grants and scholarships, not as much in student loans. Loans are increasing, and we're seeing that students are using them more for their living expenses than tuition and fees, but it's something we're trying very hard to keep down. So sending students to those resources and making sure they know all of the options that are available to them, that's a really important step.
Great. Is there anything that you think is critical for people to know about financial aid before we finish out our segment?
I think the most important thing is to read all of your directions. Meet deadlines, that's probably the most important thing, but also read the directions. And sometimes we skip over things. We think we've completed it, but we really haven't. When you do a form like the FAFSA, it's a smart form, and it won't let you skip anything that's critical. But paper forms aren't smart. You can skip over a box. Even in an admission application, you can skip over something that's very critical. So be careful, go through things. If you're doing a scholarship application, put some thought into it. Don't just write, I really need this money, please give me a scholarship. Say something about yourself. What makes you unique? What makes you different and special?
Well, let me thank you. I think the information that you've provided is really going to be valuable for our potential students and our students who are currently here and the community.
Great, and happy to be here.
Thanks again.
Okay.
Clearly, Montgomery College and community colleges across the country help many get a quality college education with less debt. This, of course, supports part of the Montgomery College mission, to empower our students to change their lives. MC's quarterly Insights magazine highlights Montgomery College students and alumni who have done just that. Writer Diane Bosser offers us a glimpse into one of her stories.
The story in Insights magazine about Lily Landau is really pretty interesting. She is somebody that has retooled herself by attending Godelsky Institute. She actually has a master's degree. She was a teacher for about 5 years in the public school system, and she took time off to have a family and decided when it was time to go back to work that she wasn't quite sure that was a good fit for her anymore, and she investigated career options. And being a Montgomery County resident, Lily was very familiar with Montgomery College and the options that she had locally. She actually enrolled at MC, sat with a counselor, took an assessment test on her skills, and in her top 5 results were engineering and electrical wiring, because she has a math aptitude. So engineering would have taken too long back in school, and she opted for a faster track. The trade unions have a strict or challenging exam. A heavy component of it is math and algebra skills, and Lily passed with flying colors and got herself a spot in the union. And she says she uses math every day on the job. You not only have to be good at math, you have to like it. Lily's in a 5-year apprentice program. She will become a full-fledged journeyman in 2017. So she knows she has a lot of work ahead of her, but she's also happy, very happy to be working full-time as she does this. She's thrilled to be an electrician. She loves it. She hopes that she will just do this until she retires.
That was a great piece, Marcus.
Yeah, Diane's conversation with Lily struck me in the sense that she took a total different career path her second time around. She wanted to raise a family, so she stopped being a teacher. She wanted to take a profession that you wouldn't bring the workplace home, and you pretty much can't bring a construction site home with you,
Right.
which is another positive. But what really struck me, and which I think is great for Montgomery College, is that she took the leap, and she took the leap to Montgomery College.
Great story. We're about out of time. Marcus, where can people go if they want more information about any of these great programs?
Sure, just log on to our website, www.montgomerycollege.edu, or you can look us up on Facebook, which is facebook.com/Montgomery College, or just email us at campus.conversations@montgomerycollege.edu.
From all of us here at Campus Conversations, thanks for watching.